Stop messing with his pouch. He gets angry.
Is this where you keep your change? Huh? Is this where you keep your change?
Hi.
Hello.
Howdy.
And welcome back to Talking with Kitties. She is girlfriend.
He is boyfriend.
And,
that's Bubs.
This is Bubs. We do that every week.
What?
I've noticed that. Every week we start it like that because we get to that point when neither one of us is sure what to say, so we just introduce a cat.
Oh, yeah.
And last week's it was Gizzard out of camera, sleeping over in the window.
And one day it
Mostly
was
it's Bubs.
Finnegan.
Yes, because he was right there.
Yeah.
We got a
but
Bubs
that's
this
how
week.
we start now, so we
It
have
is,
to
yeah.
do it that way.
But we do have a Bubs this week. Last week we barely had any kitties. We had Gizzard off camera, and then everybody else was in the catio.
Yeah, and I'm
Enjoying the
surprised
weather.
it's not going on right now, too. I mean,
Buddy,
Bubs likes to be with us more
do
than...
something with this. What
He
you're
is
doing,
doing
with it is
something
not,
with
no,
it.
something else. I knew she was going to say that. She's as bad as you are. That's where you get it
Well,
from.
you know,
I don't know.
I'm a little salty with you this morning.
What did I do now?
You broke up with me twice last night.
Oh, yeah.
In my dreams.
Yeah, I found this out this morning.
Yeah. So the first time he told me that because he can't give me what I want, we needed to break up, which in the dream, what I wanted was him to marry me. Although I kept telling him that I'm fine with the arrangement we have now. I don't need to be married. And you proceeded to tell me that I'm lying. And then I woke up and was sad. And then I rolled over and saw you. And then I was happy. So then I rolled back over and went back to sleep.
And got sad again.
And got sad again because in that dream you broke up with me, but you refused to tell me why. Mm-hmm. But we lived in an apartment with somebody else.
Oh.
So there were like 3 of us. And there were 3 bedrooms. So you kicked me out and made me sleep in a different bedroom. But you would not tell me why.
Huh.
And the other person that was our roommate was like, I'm staying out of this. I don't want anything to do with this.
Good for them.
So the whole dream was me like trying to convince you that you really do love me and that I love you and that there's no reason we should break up. And you kept agreeing that we did love each other, but you wouldn't take me back. It was weird.
That doesn't sound like me.
It was awful. I hated it.
You should have different dreams.
I agree. So the other night I had a dream that you were not in this dream, actually.
Oh.
It was me and my siblings when we were much younger.
Okay.
Like we were all really young. It was my whole family in a van and we were driving and we stopped somewhere and my dad like backed into the parking spot, which my dad does not do, but he backed into the parking spot and it was kind of on a hill. Mm-hmm. And then my mom and my dad got out and told us they'd be right back and they walked away. And the car started slowly going back. So Shay jumped in to the front and tried to push the brake and the brake wasn't working. So it was like the car just had no brakes anymore. And it started slowly going. And you could see there was this huge like cliff just like right there. Mm-hmm. I managed to get the sliding door of the van open and I jumped out and I was like, come on guys, hurry. Like it's gonna fall off the cliff. Like you have to come. And they're like, no, we're too scared. Please come with us. So I jumped back in the van and closed the door and we all died.
Oh.
And then but it was like one of those things that it happened, but I was like kind of watching it and it just flattened.
Oh.
And then my parents came out and I was standing there like on the hillside looking down at the busted van. And they're like, oh my God, Cora, what happened? And I'm like, the car just started falling. I'm like, oh, and by the way, I'm dead. I'm a ghost.
Oh.
And my mom started crying and then I woke up.
That's, you should have different dreams.
It's since I started taking this sleep aid.
2 days. So this,
I've only taken it 2 days and I've had terrible dreams.
You
2 days.
always have terrible dreams.
If I dream at all, I have terrible dreams.
This week's episode is brought to you by melatonin-based sleep aids because I couldn't stand living with me anymore. It was real bad. And nothing was working. So last weekend we were out and finally.
Yeah, last weekend we were out and you're like, I'm really thinking I should start taking like melatonin or something.
And she was all for it.
Actually, you weren't necessarily going to take melatonin. You were looking for something else.
Something about melatonin just made me uncomfortable.
Melatonin I took a while back and it messed with me bad. But everybody keeps saying, well, how many milligrams of melatonin did you have? I have no idea. I just bought a bottle of melatonin, which was probably the dumbest thing to do, but that's what I did because I was just so desperate for sleep. Mm-hmm. And it made me groggy for 3 straight days.
Yeah.
And I never took it again.
So
my dad's actually looking into trying to take a sleep aid too, because he's having the same issue that we are. Like, he can fall asleep real easy, but then he wakes up in like an hour, hour and a half, and then he's up for hours.
Yeah, so
which is my issue usually. Your issue was more.
No, my issue was starting to be that. My issue
it had
way
been,
back in the day used to be falling asleep, but lately it's been waking up.
Like, you sleep okay for like an hour, and then you're like awake, like wide awake, like you slept all night. So
super tired.
Well, yeah.
But yeah, so last weekend we were out and I was there and picked some up, and the shit really works.
And they're tasty.
Yeah. Yeah, the shit really works, and it's just the smallest dose I could find. It's just 3 milligrams. And it just gives me the nudge that I need, just the nudge to fall asleep and just the nudge to stay asleep. And if I wake up in the middle of the night, it gives me the nudge to fall back asleep.
Yeah, I think I might actually try to take them tonight too, even though we have to get up really early tomorrow, because I'm curious to see, because I haven't felt groggy.
Yeah.
Now, we've been sleeping a lot.
We've been sleeping a whole lot, but I think we needed it. Because this is the first full week where we've been up at 5.
Yeah.
And we're still going to bed on our normal time, so we're shorting ourselves on sleep to begin with.
Yeah.
But yeah, it's definitely, even whenever I don't get much sleep, the sleep that I'm getting is much better.
Yes,
I feel
like the
much
sleep
more
we're getting
rested.
is it's much better sleep than just like the...
Yeah, so yay for that.
Woohoo. Yay, getting old and needing sleep aids.
Yeah.
Yesterday, my parents and I went to, I think I talked about it on the podcast last week.
I think you did mention
My
it.
parents went to a baseball game. The Pittsburgh Pirates got the first pick for the minor leagues, something like that. I don't know how anything with baseball works, but they were able to get the first pick. So they picked a guy named Paul Skeens, who was the number one, like, they got first pick. So he was like the first pick that everybody wanted. And he's a pitcher from Louisiana. He went to the Pittsburgh Pirates minor league, like, because you have to start at the minor league first. And so his first day to start in the minor leagues was last night with the Altoona Curve. We didn't go because of that. We've had tickets forever to go and see them, but it just so happened that last night was the night he was going to start. So not only did they have like the normal Altoona Curve fans there who like have season passes and, you know, yada, yada, yada. It was sold out. And then they started selling standing room only tickets because people from like all over were traveling to see this guy because everybody's so excited and wanted to be like, we were there the day that this guy, you know, started, because he's supposedly so great. He's going to be like one of like the big name, like when you think baseball, like greats, you think like Babe Ruth and whatever. Like he has the potential to be that good, supposedly. He started last night. He walked 3 guys. I don't even remember if he actually got any outs. He got pulled in the first inning.
Oof.
He pitched maybe 10 pitches, maybe 12. Mm-hmm. The score at the end of the first inning, well, the very first inning, because the other team always starts first. Mm-hmm. And we were playing Akron Rubber Ducks, which I love because I love Rubber Ducks. Akron scored 4 in like minutes. So poor Paul got pulled, but everybody was really like, we thought for sure people were going to be pissed and just leave, but everybody stayed for the game. Like it ended up being a really good game. But so Akron got 4. Somehow we turned it around and got 5. I don't remember how long. And that, but it made the game. Like, we're like, really, like 4 already in the first inning. And then there were no points until the 9th inning. Akron scored again.
So you're tied.
So they were beating us at that point.
So they got 4 in the first.
They got, Sorry, they got 2.
Okay.
So then we were tied. And then.
So wait, no.
I don't know. Somehow we managed to be tied.
It's just.
I know. I don't remember scores. I didn't pay that much attention. But in the 9th inning, we were tied. We were going into the 9th inning tied. And then in the 9th inning, they scored 1. So then they were beating us. And then when it was our turn, we scored 1. So then we were tied again. And I'm like, I swear to God, if this goes into 10 innings and we have to stay for another game, because this was the longest game ever. Like the first inning took like over a half hour, which doesn't happen in baseball. When I go to baseball games with my parents, we're usually there like 3 hours is like a normal baseball. We're usually out of there by like 8:30, 9 o'clock. It was like 9 o'clock and we were just getting into the 9th inning. And then we were tied, and I'm like, oh my God. But then we got another one and we won, and it was amazing. The bases were loaded. Somebody hit a low one, and we got a score, and everybody cheered, and it was great.
Woo.
But yeah, poor Paul. Everybody was there to watch Paul. And Paul got pulled in his first inning after only so many because he didn't get anybody out. Like, I'm like, what did people expect? Did they really think in his first minor league game he was going to like, I know there's a word for it if you like don't have somebody hit off of you the whole time. Like,
I don't know anything about baseball.
But I'm like, what do people think that he's going to be this amazing? Like, because you can't, I asked him, like, well, why if he's so good, didn't they just pull him straight to the Pirates? And my parents said that they never do that because they still have to, from like college to minor league, there's a lot of different roles and changes. Like, I guess in the minor league, they can still use metal bats. Or not in the minor league. In college, they can still use metal bats. And when you move up to the minor league, you can only use the wooden bats. So like there's lots of different like rules and regulations that change. I'm not really into baseball. I enjoy going and sitting at baseball games with my parents because we have fun. But yesterday during the slump, because between like, I was going to say season, between the second inning and like the sixth inning, there was like nothing going on. So we spent 45 minutes talking about Animal Crossing and our different towns and what's going on in them. Because she was intrigued that I picked the Southern Hemisphere, so we were talking about that. So yeah, that's my story.
Baseball.
Everybody went to see this wonderful new starter, and he got pulled in his first inning.
That's pretty bad.
I felt really bad for him.
Yeah.
Really fast pitches, though. Mm-hmm. Like, he was hitting like 99, 98. And for a minor league, like, starting, that's incredible. Because, like, the other pitcher from the other team, all their pitchers, they were, like, in the 80s. Hmm. So, like, him hitting, like, 90 or throwing 99, 98 was really fast. Mm-hmm. That's that story.
Yeah, I don't know anything about it. I know the basics of how it works, but that's it. I don't know anything. Yeah. It's never been my thing. I always got bored.
I told my mom last night that I should probably start watching football instead. And she's like, what? Why? Football's awful. Mom hates football. Mm-hmm. I said, because it's in the colder seasons. Mm-hmm. Because... Mm-hmm. It was so hot. Even my mother, who hates cold, like she is like you. She is always, always cold. She even said she was looking forward to the air conditioning yesterday.
On the other hand, shut off the air conditioning in the house as soon as you left and went downstairs and played video games.
It was a very nice day, though. Mm-hmm. We had a very good time.
I ate yesterday.
Did you?
Oh my goodness, I ate pizza, and then I ate chips, and then I ate cookies, and then I ate Sour Patch Kids. Then I ate more chips, and then I ate more pizza, and then I ate cashews. I ate so much. I just snacked the entire day.
That's funny, because I'm usually the one that eats a lot, and I didn't eat a whole lot yesterday.
Well, yesterday, it was between Baldur's Gate and Final Fantasy, and I ended up going with Final Fantasy. Okay. I did my roulettes early, and then I decided to start working on storyline quests. Mm-hmm. And storyline quests is a lot of like running back and forth and watching cutscenes and so forth. So it was a lot of cutscenes. So I was just snacking.
So there was a lot of downtime to snack.
Yeah, it was like snacking while watching a movie or something. Just
gotcha.
Yeah. Let me try to de-nerd this a little bit.
Oh, be a nerd, babe. It's all right.
I had finished up the next to the last expansion.
Okay.
From when I've been playing before. I just started getting into the post-expansion patches whenever I kind of fell off of it. Now that I'm back into it, I need to get through those post-expansion patches so I can get into the final.
It's like the final. They're not putting any more? No. Oh, okay.
I need to get into the final expansion because the next expansion is coming out in spring.
Gotcha.
So I need to start.
Oh, you have a while then.
Yeah. But I gotta get this knocked out. I was thinking about it, the nice thing is with having it both it and Baldur's Gate, with them both being kind of like slower paced RPGs. If I start getting bored with one, I can just switch to the other one.
Just jump to the other.
Mm-hmm. Yep.
Nice.
Nice. But yeah, it was just Final Fantasy all day yesterday, so it was pretty all right. Got my Reaper to 80 like I've been wanting to.
Good.
So got him all in his fancy armor. I found a monster. I had to fight a monster as part of the story thing. Uh-huh. I'll have to show you the picture. Okay. It was upsetting because it had boobs and it should not have had boobs. I don't understand why it had boobs. You'll understand when I show you the picture. Okay. And I'll show you guys the picture right here. And boobs.
So it was disturbing?
Very disturbing because it should not have had boobs. There's no reason for it. No reason for it. But
I feel like isn't this game made like in Japan?
It's Japanese.
Japanese.
Yeah. Mm-hmm. So it's a lot
they have a tendency to like anime.
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah.
Sexy girls. So maybe they were just trying to make a sexy monster?
No, I don't know. You need to see the picture.
Okay. Yeah, mind you, I'm not looking at this right here, so I don't know what it looks like right now.
You don't.
Okay.
Yeah.
All right.
I took a screenshot to be like, why does this have boobs? Should not have this abdomen.
Nice.
No.
No.
No, it was not.
I'm very looking forward to seeing this monster.
Yes. Got back into Final Fantasy. I've been in the Baldur's Gate past couple weeks. We've had other stuff to talk about, so I haven't mentioned it. But this year has been so many shitty AAA games.
Mm-hmm. We have had that conversation.
Yeah, we've had that conversation quite a few times. Every time one of the games would come out, I would be complaining about it. Mm-hmm. So there's so many shitty AAA games, and then Baldur's Gate came out. And Baldur's Gate didn't look like the type of game I would be interested in.
Yeah, you were like, I'm not playing this.
Yeah, because I watched your brother play it on stream a little bit, and I was like, this looks so fucking boring.
I was so confused when you started.
But I kept hearing about it, kept hearing about it. And I was talking to you. I was like, you know what? We always talk about voting with our wallets. I've bought a lot of games that were garbage this year. Mm-hmm. Even if I don't really play it, I feel like I should like support a company
that's actually
doing something good.
Yeah. And I gave him my full, not that he needed my approval, but I was 100% on board with that.
So I got it, installed it, and got sucked right the fuck in.
Yeah, it was so funny because he's like, I'm not really going to do, like, I'm just buying it because it's, you know, the company's doing a good thing, blah, 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 blah. And the first day you played, you're kind of like, well, I mean, And I'm like, so are you just not going to play it? And you're like, no, I mean, it's okay enough that I'll give it, like, another shot. And then it was just like, I'm going to go play Baldur's Gate. And I'm like, what?
Well, the first day was the same shit that I'd already seen Andrew do, and it was slow paced and kind of boring. And then, me and
you
Andrew
actually got into like the storyline and stuff.
Yeah, once we got past some of the story building, and actually got into some of the stuff, it got much better. Me and Andrew did our little co-op playthrough.
Yes.
And I just broke everything. It was good. It was great. You can break anything in that game. Like it gives you the options to do just about anything.
Really broke it.
Yeah.
He cut off somebody's hand and he lost them, and then he was like an imperative person to be in their team.
Yeah, like one of the first companions you get on your team, I cut his arm off and we lost him. So.
But you carried his hand for a long time, and then you lost it and you were sad.
I was very sad that I lost it.
And you killed that young girl.
Yes.
At least these are the bits that I've seen.
Killed the young girl and then killed the woman who was trying to kill the young girl, which started a war.
It was
great.
It was great.
It's so disturbing. Some of the stuff's so disturbing because you kill the young girl and then you loot the young girl and she has a teddy bear on her. So now I have the teddy bear that I'm hauling around, and it is
a little disturbing.
It's very disturbing.
It's not set where you have to do certain things. Like you literally have free reign to do anything in that game. You get to create. Didn't you say there's like
you're creating your own story?
So many different endings.
I think there's like, if I remember right, there's like over 2,000 different choices you can make that affect the ending of the story. There's like 400 different story endings.
That's crazy.
Yeah, there's a lot. So I'm like, I've got my own solo playthrough. I've got the co-op playthrough with Andrew, and I'm already like planning things out for my next playthrough.
So do you have, I'm sorry, I didn't mean to cut you off.
No, go ahead.
Do you have like different characters for when you play those? Like
each playthrough?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Like, so when you and Andrew play, you have a different game saved than if you, okay.
And it's kind of neat. So with the game that I have with Andrew, I cannot touch that character unless we're in that game.
Together?
Yeah.
Oh.
And it's saved, it's saved on his computer because he hosted it. But unless we start that game, I cannot touch that character.
That's kind of cool. I like that.
Yeah. So you can't like mess with your characters outside of the game.
Because then that would kind of throw things off because you'd have different people or different settings. And I like that. That was smart. Mm-hmm. So this portion of, I was going to say our blog, but it's not a blog. This portion of our podcast is not actually brought to you by, but I would like to take a shout out to Red Bull Summer Edition.
Is it good?
It is Juneberry. It is delicious.
Is it?
I would ask you if you want a sip.
I do not.
But you do not like Red Bull. Unfortunately, I love Red Bull. I've given up soda for the most part.
For the most part. You've done much better than
So I'm doing much better. But yesterday when we were out, we went to, there's like a little amusement park right beside the baseball field. So we went, they have the oldest roller coaster.
Park. Yeah.
Yes.
Everybody kept saying Del Grosso, and I knew Del Grosso.
Yeah.
I said Del Grosso.
Yeah, and I was like, but it's not really Del Grosso. No, it's Lakemont Park.
Del Grosso is up by more up by Tyrone.
Yeah, I've never been to Del Grosso, I don't think. So we went to Lakemont Park because we parked really early to make sure we get a parking spot. We went to Lakemont Park, and they have They have the oldest roller coaster in America, I think it is. I don't think it's the world. It is terrifying because it is so old. And like, there's like, to get the roller coaster started, the guy has to push your cart till it gets the thing to like catch, and then it like spins and pulls you up. And there's no shocks, there's no anything. So you're on it, and it's like, there's no steep hills. It's all like dips. You just like fly in the air and then you land, and I hurt my tailbone hurt so bad from landing. Like it was not a fun experience, but I'm glad I did it, so I can say I was on one of the oldest roller coasters in the world.
I've ridden that one.
Really?
Yeah. Years ago.
I was gonna say, because you don't do rides, or
parents were still together.
Okay.
Years ago, we made a trip up to Lakemont Park, and I've actually ridden on that. And fun story.
Okay.
It's not fun at all.
Oh.
In high school, the class ahead of me went to Lakemont Park for their senior trip, and
It's such a small little park.
and everybody went on that roller coaster. And the next day, they shut that roller coaster down because it was broken and going way too fast. It was unsafe. And I guess everybody in that class that went that day were all like, that was terrifying. There was like two guys that were just like, it's great, it's fantastic, but nobody would ride with us anymore. But it was like they had to like shut it down for repairs because it was...
No, so you actually... At Lakemont Park, you can either buy like a day pass that's like $20. It's so cheap. But they have like, okay, wait. So this park is really cute. Like they have 2 roller coasters. They have like a couple, like they have like go-karts. They have 3 miniature golf courses. They have like the little paddle boats, and they're like dragons, and you can like paddle around like this little pond thing that they have. It's really, really, they have a basketball court. They have batting cages. They have a volleyball net. They have like one of those big chess sets that are like on like the ground that you can like move. It was it's an adorable little park. But other than buying a day pass, you can just buy tickets to do whatever you want. So like the roller coasters were $3 a piece, and they have a train. My mom wanted to ride the train. So like, I think I bought 7 tickets total, and I spent like $20. And so my dad and I went on both roller coasters, and then the 3 of us went on the train. When you bought the ticket for the oldest roller coaster, it actually came with like a commemorative like ticket stub. So you could keep saying, I rode on like the oldest roller coaster. So I thought that was kind of neat, but I don't have it with me. So I can't look to see if it says world or America, because I had to give it to my mom because I didn't bring my purse into the thing because it was just too crazy. But the roller coaster is terrifying because it's like the whole time it's driving, it's like shuddering too, like as it's going, but it only goes 10 miles per hour. So to think that it was going faster than that, I can't imagine how much that hurt. I would hate that.
We have a cat skin rug. I'm taking a picture. So everybody he looks so annoyed with the picture.
He hates his picture taken, which is so funny because you'd think he'd be used to it. We take pictures of our cats all the time. Yeah. So Lakemont Park is really cute.
It is.
Definitely more family, like younger family oriented. If you go expecting like this great experience at like a park, like if you're like a hardcore like amusement park person, you're not going to like it because it's not your typical amusement park. But for $20 to get in, like, and that covered everything but like the batting cages, I think you could do anything else. Like it was really cute. We didn't pay the $20 because we only were going to ride on 3 rides, but it's a really cute experience. The game was really cool, other than poor Paul getting kicked out first inning. I felt so bad. But the crowd stayed. The crowd clapped. Like he got a standing ovation when he got kicked off. Like people were really nice about it.
I don't know. If I was getting a standing ovation for being thrown out of the game, I don't think I'd be too excited.
No, it wasn't a standing ovation for like
getting
kicked out. It was a standing ovation because he was new and everybody was there to support him. And, because I thought the same thing at first. I'm like, oh man, like if he's depressed, that's going to come across as really bad. But people were really, really good about it. Got my first full week of my training in.
Yes.
My new job.
You're sick of driving already?
I hate it.
Yes.
I hate the driving. It is awful. I am driving roughly an hour and 15 minutes, depending on traffic down over the mountain to get to my training. But I give myself 2 hours because the day that I decide not to give myself 2 hours is the day I'm going to run into all kinds of issues.
Well, you did, because the first day you got up at 5 and you were down there at like 6:45 or something.
Yeah,
we woke up at 5. You don't leave at 5. You wake up at 5 and you leave at 6.
6-ish, but I left early that day because I was feeling
I got there at like
10 till 7.
Yeah. But then like the next day you were barely there on time because you got stuck behind trucks.
I got there at like 7:30. So I still had some time. But yeah, no. So I give myself...
It fluctuates quite a bit.
Yeah, it's been fluctuating quite a bit. It depends on traffic, on, there's just so much it could depend on. Because I don't jump on the turnpike right away. I take another road down to the next exit on the turnpike.
Stop.
Because the first exit is awful. So I take it, but going down to the other turnpike entrance, there's always coal trucks.
Yeah.
And if you hit the wrong time, they go like 20 down the mountain, and it can cause, and there's only one spot where you can pass, and it never fails that there's people coming up the other way right then.
Yep.
Or you pass and you go for like a little bit, and then there's another coal truck, and then you're stuck behind it again. Because I had that happen already too. I'm like, oh, thank goodness, this is great. Yeah. And then like just around the bend, there's another one, and it's like, okay, well. But I try not to get myself all worked up about it, because I'm like, you know what? I gave myself plenty of time. I'll be fine. And usually I have my coffee there with me, so my iced coffee. So I'm just drinking my iced coffee going, hey, it's all right.
I mean, you got 1 week down. You got 1 week under your belt.
1 week done.
It's kind of funny to me. I keep wanting to be an ass.
Go ahead.
And be like, I used to drive for a living 6 hours a day.
No, and and my dad has mentioned that too. Well, my dad didn't drive for a living, but he used to travel.
He drove the opposite. He drove from down there up to here.
Down there up to here for like 10 years or something. Mm-hmm. But
no, it still sucks.
My job isn't driving. If I had a job that was specifically driving, I don't think it would bother me as much, because I knew going into it that that's what my job would be. Like, because I don't mind driving. I don't mind driving. But you got to drive to different places and do different things. Sometimes.
This is the same places 90% of the time. Over and over and over again.
But different days. Like, you didn't go to the same place every single day, is what I mean. You know what I mean? Like, I'm going to the exact same location every single day.
I was just being a jerk. I get it. I totally get it. I was just being a jerk. But I mean, devil's advocate, you did know what you were getting into when you went into this.
I did.
You'd be driving that for training.
I did. And
it's just eye on the prize.
I'm not like, I'm complaining a little bit.
Yeah.
But
it's
the morning drive.
Oh, yeah.
The morning drive is wonderful. Yeah. I love the morning drive, because I don't hit into much traffic until I get into the area where it's actually the class is at. Mm-hmm. And even then, I've been getting there so early that I'm missing a lot of like the morning traffic. Mm-hmm. So, and I love watching like the sunrise and like that kind of stuff while I'm driving. So I don't mind the morning drive. It's the coming back home drive when I'm like pedal to the floor trying to get home, because all I want to do is be home, and people suck and can't drive, and there's so much traffic, and
it's fun.
I told on myself to my mom last night and told her that there was one time I looked down and I was going like 90, and she's like, oh, honey, no. And then my dad and I started having a conversation about speeds. Mm-hmm. Do you want to hear a fun story about my dad?
Sure.
Sorry, I don't know if I'm supposed to share. I don't think he cares. It happened years and years and years ago. When my parents were still dating, right before they got married, my dad was in the Army. Mm-hmm. And he was in like Fort Detrick or something. It's in somewhere in Maryland. Okay. Like Fredericksburg, Maryland. Mm-hmm. And so they lived in Monroeville. And I guess he had been back visiting my mom. He fell asleep, and he needed to be back at the base or barracks or whatever they call it, by like, I don't know what time, let's say like 7 a.m.
Okay.
Or he would be considered AWOL. And he got from Monroeville to the Fort Detrick or whatever in an hour and 15 minutes. He said like he'd be driving down. He's like, he was only going like 10 miles over the speed limit maybe at that point. And he said that there would be like every like so often there'd just be a car just flying. Like you could barely see it. It was going so fast. And he said that he had a CB radio, and he kind of turned it and found where they were at. And these were all military people trying to get back to like different, because some of them were like Newport News. So they were like in Virginia. They were saying like they were spaced out about a mile or so apart from each other. Mm-hmm. And the one would be like, okay, well, I just got pulled over on mile blah, 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 blah. Mm-hmm. or, hey, there's a speed trap at blah, blah, blah. But it was 3:00 in the morning, Dad said. So there's like nobody else driving on the road. So Dirt's like, well, screw it. So he got in the formation and just went. And he made it in an hour and 15 minutes. And it should have taken him like 2.5 hours. At the time, his car could, like, his speedometer only went to 120 and it was off of that. So he has no idea how fast he was going. That's terrifying. No, that is terrifying. I'm terrified to drive really fast.
Yeah.
But I feel like it affects your car. Like, it's not even like, I'm not afraid of my driving going that fast, but I feel like my car feels weird when it gets to a certain speed.
Oh yeah, it absolutely does. Yeah, because you start dealing with like,
and I don't like that feeling.
Yeah, some cars get real squirrely.
Yeah,
because but aerodynamics are built for certain ranges.
Yeah,
and most passenger cars aren't built to go 110, 120. Yeah. So shit can start getting real shifty.
But Dirt said that, I don't remember what vehicle he said he was driving, but he said it was purring. He's like, it was like the sweetest drive he's ever had.
Do you remember that rental car that I got pulled over in whenever I was coming back from Jersey?
Yes.
And then you're like, how are you doing this fast?
And then like, you had me drive it. Or no, you were driving. But
I was like, come with it. We're just heading down the road. And I was like, so what do you think? You're like, it's really smooth. I was like, we're doing 110. And he was like, what? That car was I don't even remember what kind of car it was, but we can't own one of those. No.
I don't know. My Jeep doesn't do pretty bad though. Like I said, I was going 90 and didn't realize I was going 90.
Your Jeep does pretty
and
good.
I was like, oh shit.
My truck does not. You start hitting around 80, 90. You can tell.
I feel like if I was going much fast, I've never taken, like, I'm not somebody that likes to speed really. Like that's not typically me, but I'm just so ready to be home. You have told me, Mama has told me, Dirt has told me that I really need to start utilizing my cruise control. Mm-hmm. And I did the one day.
So 3 people have told you, so you're not going to listen to any of us.
No, I did the one day, and then Friday I just didn't.
Because you're stubborn. Yes.
I get started, and then I just go.
Because you're stubborn.
I'm not.
Yes. You are.
I take offense to that. So does Pusser. Look, Pusser looks offended for me.
No, he looks good.
Well, not when you lift up his chin because he's getting head scritches. That's not fair.
You look so offended, buddy. You look so offended. Oh, such offended Pusser cat right here. He's so offended. Oh, his face.
Thanks for being offended for me, Puss.
Anytime, Mom. That's what it takes.
I need to pick up more of these.
Okay.
So I really am trying not to drink soda pop and stuff, but
so you're switching to energy drinks, which are way worse.
Yeah. So no. Since January, like I went from January until my birthday without drinking any soda at all.
Her birthday is the end of June.
My birthday is June 25th. So I literally went
You did.
a very long time without having soda. And even now, like, so yeah, anyway, so yesterday, I've only had a few sodas since because they don't taste very good. But yesterday, after being at the park, we were sitting in the car waiting to go into the game. And my dad's like, oh, and I had brought a drink with me, but it sat in the car. So it was really, really warm. My dad had a cooler with ice in it. And he's like, oh, by the way, I brought you a Pepsi if you want one. We didn't know if you'd want it, but we thought it might be nice. I drank it in seconds. I was so thirsty. And then when we went into the game, the lines for like the anything were so ridiculously long. We just like went straight to our seats. We didn't get any like refreshments or anything. And then my dad was going to go to the restroom and he's like, well, I'm going to try, because the game had already started. He's like, I'm going to try to go to the restroom and then get refreshments. What do you guys want? And I'm like, I need a large drink. But they don't have like anything that would be not soda. So I'm just like, get me a Pepsi. So I got a large Pepsi and downed that in like no time. And I paid the price for that because after I was done, I felt kind of nauseous and I had a headache, and Mom's like, what's wrong with you when we were leaving? And I'm like, I don't drink soda anymore. I don't like, but it tasted so good yesterday, but I think it's just because I was so thirsty. Yeah. So I just felt yucky. But the Red Bull thing is going to become an issue because I have an issue with self-control. When somebody else has something, I want it. So I'm sitting in this class and people are like, well, cracking open the second Red Bull of the day, cracking open the first Red Bull today, cracking open blah, blah, blah. And the girl behind me drinks Red Bull and I can hear her crack it open each time she cracks one open. And I'm like, I need a fucking Red Bull. So I ordered one with the groceries, and then I was going to save it for tomorrow. And this morning I looked and went, no, I want it right now.
Right now.
So I'm going out today to buy more.
We are not sponsored by Red Bull.
God, I wish we were.
Red Bull
No,
would like to
I
sponsor
don't
us.
wish we were. I'm really happy we are not.
But if you would like to,
Oh my God, please.
we will be talking with Kitties with wings.
I
will not drink your product though. Sorry. I'll sit it here so people
I
can see.
will drink so much of it.
She'll drink enough for both of us.
It's so good.
I'll fill it with water and sit it here.
There you go.
Yeah.
I don't know. There's just, and it's funny because original Red Bull flavor, like when I first tried it, I did not like it. Like it's one of those acquired tastes.
Yeah, like Pusser.
And it's like, why would you even try to acquire the taste? When I would go out drinking, I would get like cherry rum or cherry vodka and Red Bull.
Mm-hmm.
And with the flavor, it was good.
Mm-hmm.
And then I just kind of started like, well, maybe I don't mind Red Bull. Oh, and Red Bull was in a shot that we used to drink.
Yeah, what was it?
Like Washington apples, I think.
Yes, something like that.
It's one of those, has Red Bull in it. And they were really good. So then I'm like, well, maybe I like Red Bull.
Yeah.
I do.
There you go.
Almost all of the flavors. I'm pretty sure I've never tried the watermelon, but I'm not a fan of watermelon flavored.
Yeah.
I've tried all their other flavors, and there's not a single one that I'm like, I don't like it.
I thought it was.
There's ones that I don't like as much as others. I can't think of one that I'm like, ooh, gross.
I thought you didn't like the yellow one.
No, the yellow one's really good. The yellow one's like a dragon, or it's a tropical, and it's pretty good.
I don't know. I thought there was one that you didn't like. I can't.
No, there is. You're right. There was one that was kind of like, I don't remember what color it was or which one it was. It was one of the it was like last summer stuff, and they don't have, they made this one instead. So.
Yeah. Of course you like it. It's blue.
It's really good. It's very, very tasty. It's a little sweet.
You're a little sweet.
It's pretty good. No.
I was just agreeing with you.
You're not supposed to agree with me about that.
Oh, my bad. So you still got to go to the gym this weekend. So I am supposed to.
Probably not until after.
I'm supposed to hold her accountable for things. She tells me all the time to hold her accountable. Make sure I do this. Make sure I do that. She doesn't listen to me.
No.
At all.
No.
Even a little.
No.
But she still tells me to be like, hey, you need to hold
And then
me
I get
accountable.
really salty when he tells me.
Really salty.
Because I'm like, why are you being a jerk?
She gets really salty with me when I try to hold her accountable.
And I
tell
get
her what
really
she's supposed to
salty
do.
when you don't.
And then whenever it fails anyways, because she doesn't listen to me because she's stubborn, she gets really salty with me because I didn't manage to somehow make her do the things that she was supposed to do. Okay, yep.
At least.
In your defense.
No. At least I know I do it.
Yes, that's true. Yes.
Like, I don't really hold it against you because I know I do it. I don't get actually mad at you.
Yeah.
It's always just if you would have made me do it.
Yeah.
And then you're like, really, girlfriend? And I'm like, I know. And then I giggle and then we're over it. I am not a member of the gym anymore.
You don't even know.
I do. I
don't
looked
even
it up.
know.
My gym membership is done.
That was money well spent. She went once.
I went once.
And then
I got this job.
Then she went once. She got this job. She's like, oh, I'm not going to be able to go anyways. Oh, you can still go during the weekend. She's like, oh, yeah, I could go because you're only planning on going once a week.
I was going to go twice a week.
You're only going to go once a week. You're only going to go once a week to get yourself started, get to work yourself into it slowly. So you could still just go once a week on the weekends. And even if you want to, you could like bump it up to twice a week. Go like a Friday. Go like a Friday, like a Sunday or something. You can still do that. And you should still, I should go on weekends. And that first weekend we were talking about it, she's like, yeah, I might go as soon as I get home on tonight. It was a Friday. I might go tonight whenever I get home, she said. And I was like, oh yeah. She's like, if not, I could go Sunday. Yeah. She didn't go. And then last weekend I was like, hey, you need to go to the gym. You haven't gone to the gym yet this week. That face. And then I was like, you still haven't gone for last week either, so you need to go for both weekends. And
I'm tired.
And then this weekend, she's all like, and yeah, she went once.
I'm tired. I work really hard and drive a whole lot. The last thing I want to do is go with sweaty jerk faces.
She guilt trips me.
No, I'm not guilt tripping you. I'm just giving you the facts.
She's not guilt tripping me on purpose. This is just what she does.
She does the facts.
She does the little girl voice.
How about I practice yoga today? Will that count?
How about you do?
I would love to practice yoga, actually, because I'm feeling sore. What?
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 You would love to do a lot of things, but you don't do them.
Yeah, because I'm lazy and I'm fat.
Yes.
Leave me alone.
So what are you going to do about it?
Bitch at you when you try to point me in the right direction.
Yes.
And eat food because I'm feeling depressed.
Yes. This is my life.
Maybe I'll just sign up for gastric bypass surgery.
No.
Why?
Because.
Then I will have a small stomach and can start over.
Just no. Just do the thing.
No, it's too hard.
It's not that hard. You just got to get started. Once you getting started is the hard part because you've done this before. And once you got rolling, you were good until you hurt yourself.
But I was only doing it for like 2 weeks.
No, you did it for longer than that.
It was like a month, I guess.
It's like 2 months. Then you screwed up your knee and you were down for the rest of the summer. You never got back into it.
Maybe I'm just scared of hurting myself again.
Well, just don't hurt yourself and it'll be good.
All right, change of topic.
Yeah, because she doesn't want to hear it anymore because she knows I'm right. And she hates that.
Right, you're incorrect. Boyfriend, I just don't want
I don't
to.
want to. See, there's
I guess I do raise my voice
sure
a little,
do.
don't I?
Straight guilt trip.
I'm not doing it to guilt you.
Yes, you are.
I'm just doing it to tell you how I feel about
That's
things.
not it. No, because when you tell me how you feel about things, it's like, boyfriend doesn't have it.
It is not.
See, and then you do this. This is the guilt trip.
This isn't.
Boyfriend. But you tell me to help, and it's just like, then you wonder why I don't want to.
Then stop.
Then stop telling me to.
Stop telling me now because I can't go to the gym because I don't have a membership anymore.
Well, go sign up for one. So
I'm
you
not
can
going to
go
sign up
once.
for a membership so I can go once and then never go again and then have you guilt me again about it the
I'm
whole
not guilting
freaking
anyone.
month.
I'm not. This is not guilt tripping you. This is publicly shaming you. There's a
Oh,
difference.
well, excuse me.
Doesn't matter. Neither one's going to work on you.
Nope, I do what I want.
Yeah. Which is good. 80% of the time.
Until I whine to you for hours and every day that I'm fat and I tell you that I was afraid to go on a roller coaster that was wooden because I'm so fat I'm going to break the roller coaster and fall.
And I probably sound like I'm being a jerk. Like, well, what are you going to do about it? But I just...
That he has to. Like, I'm not upset at all. He has to do this to me.
I have to be. It's
and
tough love.
He is really nice. He's never like I'm actually surprised you said yeah when I said, well, I'm just fat and lazy. And you're like, yeah. And because he doesn't.
We are lazy.
Yeah, but he doesn't tell me I'm fat. We know I'm heavy. We know I'm overweight. We know I'm fat. But the thing is, like, he's never like, you have to lose weight. You have to lose weight. He's just like, when I whine and say that I'm overweight and need to lose weight, he's like, what are you going to do about it then?
Yeah. The what are you going to do about it is, are you going to do something about it so you're happy with it? Or are you just going to accept it?
Yeah.
That this is the lifestyle that you want. Yeah. Either way, I'm fine with either one.
Yeah, you don't care.
Doesn't matter to me in the slightest.
But he's sick of hearing me whine about it. Yeah. Like if whining about it isn't going to do anything, either accept it and move on and don't whine about it anymore. Just be like okay with who I am and how I am, or
stop making yourself miserable.
Yeah. It's tough love. He's not doing it to be mean. He's not like, and it doesn't offend me. It doesn't upset me. I get it. I know. We've had this conversation so many times. He loves me for who I am and doesn't care how much my body fluctuates and what happens. He doesn't care. But he doesn't particularly like when I
hard on you.
Trash talk myself the whole time.
Yeah, it's hard on you, and that's the upsetting part. So it's just like, all right, I will help in whatever way I can, but you have to let me help you too. And you don't.
And I don't.
Yeah.
Because I'm an independent
So
person.
the next thing I got to do is public shaming, apparently. We'll see if this has any effect.
I don't like that at all.
Well, then you should...
Maybe you should not.
You should not let it get to this point.
I'll just stop telling you things. I go to extremes. Like, fine, you want to play that way? Then I'll never tell you how I feel about anything ever again. So when I'm just sitting like this, and you're like, girlfriend, what's going on in that head of yours? I'll be like, nothing.
What?
So Mama told me a fun history fact yesterday. I don't remember the guy's name because he's French.
Call him Ted.
So Ted, in the 1800s, at the Moulin Rouge, became famous because he was a flatulist. He had so much control over his abdomen that he could fart on command and could almost like fart music.
Oh, yeah. Well, that's what my next goal is. I've been working on it.
To become a flatulist?
Yeah.
And mine apparently is to just burp all the time.
You're such a gassy girlfriend.
So when you belched or farted, or when belching and farting happened yesterday while I was not here,
there wasn't any.
Was Gizzard not around you?
She was, where was she?
She was probably in the catio. No,
I think she was in the background.
It was warm yesterday. I'm surprised. Yeah, no, she was, because she was waiting for me.
Wasn't warm enough. Not here.
Oh, that's true. It was warmer where I was. It was 89 degrees.
Yeah, so we figured out if it's cooler outside, this one will be outside because he takes after his mother. Mm-hmm. If it's super warm outside, the gizzard will be outside because she takes after me.
As will you.
Yes. And if it's either,
if it's outside,
Finnegan's there.
Yeah.
So.
And it's really cute because that's how Casper used to be too. In the middle of winter, if you opened up the catio door,
would go out, start rolling around.
She would go out, she'd roll around, and she would sit. And she would look a little grumpy, like, I don't know. But she was like, nope, I am freaking here. I am outside. This is great. And she would do it until she was like
frozen,
cold to the touch. And then she would come in and lay right in front of the heater vent and warm herself up. And then she'd go right back out if we let her. We wouldn't let her because we didn't want her to freeze. She would warm her little bottom. Yeah. But Finny's the same way. Finny is, if that door is open, he is there. In fact, you were concerned this morning because he opened the door and went, is Finnegan out? Like he thought I didn't let him out of the bathroom from eating breakfast. And I'm like, no, he's out. I think he was in the I think he was using like
the facilities?
The facilities. Because then all of a sudden you hear bloop, 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 bloop. And then he's like, oh, nope, here he comes.
We still haven't heard anything about the tub and surround for that fucking bathroom. I really think we're going to have to call and raise some hell, figure out something.
There's nothing they can do.
What do you mean there's nothing they can do?
There's no...
They can offer a refund and then we can pick a different one.
Well, yeah. I mean, I can do that.
Yeah.
We might have to be waiting for the next one, too.
But still, I mean, we got to figure out something because we're running out of time to get it done before you're going to be here all day.
Yeah.
We're kind of on a time crunch with this because we got to get enough time
to let them
to have time to schedule it. Yeah. So we really need to, we can't just let this kind of happen.
No, that's true.
This guy's doing really good. Talk about kitties. I think we've had one hairball all week. He's doing really good with the new food. And 3-1 was just over the night before last, and she was even saying about how he seemed a lot happier and
she made even a comment about how like his demeanor has changed.
Yeah, he's doing much better with the food change. So we should have done that earlier. Good friend.
Yes.
What are you doing?
Sorry. My parents bought a dehydrator, and
did they get a new one?
Because theirs died.
Did it die?
Well, theirs was, theirs was, okay, so... No. That one, okay. So their original one died.
Okay.
And then they had the one that they had when we went to their house.
That
was the new one, yes.
Okay, all right. I remember them saying about it, but I didn't realize there was a...
And it's not working right.
Yeah.
So they've had stuff in it for like days, and it's still not dried.
Okay.
And the reason they think is because the old one had the heating element at the bottom and heat rises, so it goes up. This one, it's on the top, so they think it just stays there. Like the heat, it doesn't like go through everything because it's just not heating up properly. And I'm like, where did you buy it from? And they're like, oh, Amazon. And I'm like, all right.
Return it.
I'm like, return it. And they're like, oh, well, blah, it's going to cost so much. And I went, no. I said, Amazon has this thing now where you put it in its original box, like the dehydrator in its box, and then you say you want to return it and you're going to do UPS drop off at the store. I said, you just take the box in, they scan your code, and then they package it up and ship it for you, and you don't know anything, and then they refund your money. And Dirt's like, really? I'm like, yeah, you don't have to buy a box to pack it up in and ship it. And I'm like, I pass the UPS store twice a day on my way. Now, granted, in the morning, they're not open, but
still. I'm
like, so if you want to process the return and give me the dehydrator, I'll drop it off for I'll do it. So he had messaged me and said, hey, I have the return in process. If I get it boxed up, can I drop it off for you? And I said, yep, all I need is the dehydrator, and you need to forward me your email so I have the QR code. It's so easy.
Yeah.
And that's good because he dropped $175 on this thing and it doesn't work.
Yeah, refund the shit out of that.
And he already bought a replacement.
Broken.
What?
I wonder if it's just broken.
That's what I told him. I said they could either
2 or 3 days. That sounds like it's just not working it's supposed to.
And I told him, I'm like, you could instead of getting a refund, they'll send you out a replacement. And he's like, no, I already bought another one on there. And I'm like, well, then definitely return it.
Refund it. Yeah, absolutely. Hold on to it is just ridiculous. Even regardless of how much it would cost, because even if he would pack it up himself, they'd send him the label.
Yeah, but he needs the box and stuff for it, and it's I guess it's heavy. I don't know.
He's being silly.
Well, no, and then he doesn't know he doesn't pay attention to where the UPS plate drop offs and stuff. We've just gotten used to that. I think he just figured it would be a hassle.
I guess
Because it is
much
kind of a
shipping
hassle.
as I did.
Yeah.
The last time I kind of got.
You're used to shipping and figuring that stuff out. For
It's like second
most
nature at this
people,
point,
that's not like, that's like a pain in the ass to do. But then when I told him that you can literally just drop it off at a UPS store, and he's like, oh, I'm like, yeah, they do everything. They package it up. They put the sticker on. They make sure it's there. They literally scan it and give you a receipt saying that they got it and that they're shipping it out, and you're done.
Yeah, I did a lot of shipping with my last job, both UPS, FedEx, postal, international freight, all of it.
Yeah, you
I did a lot of shipping. So it's like,
it's second nature
I get
to you
it.
at this
I
point.
understand it. So it doesn't.
And most people don't have that much experience. It's a hassle.
I just didn't.
Yeah, it's just a hassle. But when he realized it wasn't actually that big of a hassle, he was on board. So, because I'm like, don't just throw it away. Like, you dropped a lot of money on that. Even if you didn't, it's broken. It's not working.
Yeah.
There's no place that would tell you you can't return it.
Yeah.
It doesn't work. 3 or 4 days to dry out slices of tomatoes.
Yeah.
And a dehydrator, it should be a couple hours. Yeah. No, it probably would have been, well, but then the cat would eat them.
Oh, yeah.
I think those are all my updates.
Yeah, I think I'm
going to practice yoga tonight.
I don't really have.
Your boyfriend.
We're going to eat, right?
Make me practice yoga tonight.
Okay.
Yeah, no, we're going to brunch with 3 today. Well, although it's not brunch now, it's going to be flat out lunch because it's almost noon. I'm pretty excited for food. And then we're going to run to the store and get me more Red Bull.
I feel like there was something I wanted to get while we were out, but I can't think of what it was. Maybe I'll remember. Maybe not.
Yeah, I have no idea.
We'll see.
Part of me wants to go get different windshield wiper blades for the Jeep because they're expensive ones.
Yeah, but we haven't replaced them for like 3 years though, have we?
I don't think.
I feel like those are like the ones that came with it. I don't think we've
No, we have replaced it since, because I think when we got it inspected, they told us we had to replace them, and they replaced them with theirs.
Oh, maybe.
And I don't like them. And they don't seem to work great. So
are they like the expensiver ones? Mm-hmm. I've never had good luck with expensive wiper blades.
No, they're like expensive ones, and they smear like they streak, and then it makes it harder to see. And there's one spot like right in my line of vision that always has the streak.
Yeah.
And I've picked it up and looked to see if there was like a leaf, because sometimes if there's like a leaf or something, and there's nothing. I
always have the best luck with the cheapest fucking windshield wiper blades I can find.
So maybe while we're out, we'll get a set of windshield wiper blades if we think about it.
We'll see.
And then you can put them on for me.
Maybe.
I love you.
Always with the sass.
You're sassing me.
I had a good teacher.
Yeah, Pusser's pretty sassy.
Takes after his mother.
We never met her. Does anybody want a boyfriend? I'll sell him for cheap.
Comes with a small.
Remember the dream he broke up with me? That's not going to be how that goes down.
Yeah. But I come with a small gray kitten and entirely too many musical instruments.
And a ridiculously heavy computer desk and many computer screens and computers.
I'm thinking of redoing my whole setup downstairs again.
Of course you are.
Yeah.
I'm excited to hear, actually. All right.
I feel like
we've been recording for quite a while.
It's been a bit, so yeah.
Did you start your timer?
I didn't, because I'm not wearing my watch. It's still on charge.
Well,
so we started around 11. It's 12, so it should be about right. So yeah, we're going to cut it off there. We're going to call it there. We're going to stop it there. We're not going to do it anymore. We're going to do it next week. We're not going to do it anymore today.
We're not going to do it anymore today.
Yes. We're done for the day. You're done for the day. This is
We're done with you.
Done with you. This is quite enough. Good day, son.